Hey everyone, this is Ian Miller,
What's going on, guys? It's Andrew.
and welcome to another episode of Media Talk with Nolan Smith. It has been a while since we've actually posted our last episode. Thank you for the good reviews on that, especially with the Star Wars Shadows of the Empire remake idea that we talked about on there. But we did take a week off because one of us was actually away out of the country.
Yes, I apologize for.
Yeah, this guy.
Yes, I apologize for that. I was away in Greece for 10 days, so wasn't able to record or do our episode then. So it's kind of a little tough with the time difference between New York and Greece. So we're back now. Um, and hopefully we'll get you more episodes weekly now this time that I'm back.
Yeah,
So hopefully we'll start getting back into the mix of things now. So
I think the phrase is swing of things, but okay. Anyway,
you know what I mean.
Anyway, let's get to the show. We have very few topics to talk about, but let's go to sports right now. So, Smith, take it away.
Yes. Yeah, so few stuff to talk about here in sports. I mentioned on our couple episodes back, um it is now the baseball playoffs. Unfortunately, the Mets and Yankees are not in it this year. Um, Hopefully next year won't go too deep into that. Once the playoffs are over, um, I'll go into a little bit on the off season and what I think both teams, Mets and Yankees, should do to improve on the season for 2024. So won't go too much into that right now. So we'll see where the baseball playoffs go, who wins the World Series. Um, I have my pick of who I want to win, but as of now, it doesn't look like they will be moving on as of right now. So we'll see what happens. The one I wanted to move on was the Baltimore Orioles, since they haven't won in a while. They've been a great team all year. So we'll see what happens tonight, since they are playing right now. Um, and, you know, if they do, in fact, lose today, unfortunately, they will be eliminated from the playoffs. So I will may have to pick a new team. So I will see on that and go through the playoffs. So we'll see on that. Um, yeah. So um, anyway, so that's on baseball right now. Football, not the greatest start for Giants fans such as myself. Uh, Giants are 1-4. Um, so they have not had a great start to the season. They haven't actually been losing very close games. They've been getting blown out. The scores have been bad. Um, so not looking great right now. Daniel Jones kind of has to get back into the swing of things. He's got to be the quarterback he was last year. But he's been getting a lot of sacks lately, so that's not what Giant fans want to see. Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah. Um, so we'll see what happens with their season. Hopefully they can turn things around, but 1-4 is kind of hard to come back from. So we'll hopefully next week they can turn it around and hopefully get their season turned around. Jet fans, they are 2-3. They had a good win last week on Sunday. So that's pretty good right there. Zach Wilson had a pretty good game. With Aaron Rodgers out, it's kind of difficult, but Jet fans are holding their own. Jets are holding their own holding their own right now. Excuse me. Zach Wilson is, trying to get them back on track, trying to be the quarterback he can be. So we'll see what goes on with that. I'm not sure if you've been watching football at all lately.
Oh, I have. Been starting to watch it. I was really looking forward to a good start of the season, but it's not worked out at all. It really hasn't, and especially because I'm also a Giants fan. I'm hoping for better, but I don't see that happening just yet.
Yeah, not yet. I don't know what they're gonna do. Hopefully, they can find a solution to whatever's going on with them. Daniel Jones got injured last game, so we'll see if he is cleared and will play on Sunday. So we'll find out on that, and hopefully they get their season turned around and be actually one of the New York teams that can actually do good, because not a lot of New York teams have done great this year.
Yeah.
Well, but we'll see. Keep you updated on that for football news, anything that happens. But not looking good for Giant fans right now. See if the Jets have a little bit more. They have a better record right now, so we'll see. We'll see if they can turn it around as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, so sports is kind of let down for New York right now, but yeah, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's a good baseball playoffs. I will still watch, see what happens. I will still be the loyal Giant fan as well for football. Hoping they turn it around. So that is my sports news right now. Hockey actually starts, I think, tonight, I believe. Yeah, so I do know that the Islanders home opener is this weekend. So we'll see if Islanders and Rangers see what happens with that in hockey. And NBA starts soon as well. So looking forward to all that and keeping you guys updated on that. And we'll see what happens.
Fingers crossed, guys, because we gotta get some wins here.
We got to get New York fans. These New York teams got to get New York fans hyped up again. So
yeah, it's kind of lackluster. Okay, entertainment news. This one is not really a spoiler. None of the actors of the Justice League films are actually going to reprise their roles. No surprise there, because of course, as you know, the Flash was kind of a cleanser and rebooted the DCU. And of course, the first film that was part of the reboot was obviously Blue Beetle. Of course, the fans of the Snyder verse, as it's been dubbed, I'm not too happy with the news, but again, they had to expect it, seen it coming. But we do like to thank the wonderful performances from these talented people at playing these iconic characters. So thank you, Henry. Thank you, Gall. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ezra. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Ray. Thank you very much.
Yeah, they were all. I really enjoyed their performances.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can pick one specific one that was my favorite, because they all kind of did well. Did really well, actually. I mean, obviously, you would have liked to have seen maybe Jason or Henry at least continue their characters. Hopefully, we would have hoped that James Gunn may have kept one or two of them back, but
Wasn't cards.
Yeah, he's cleaning house, clean slate. So not what we want to see, but there's also a report that now Jason Momoa could be cast as
Lobo in Superman Legacy.
Right. Yeah. Not official, but he was in talks to play the character before the actor strike happened. So
Yeah, so a lot of things obviously were that was discussed, before the actor strike actually happened. But yeah, that was one of the reported, reports. It wasn't verified right now. It's just just a rumor right now. But obviously, would be a perfect choice right there, because he kind of looks like Lobo.
no, absolutely. I mean, you know more of the characters than I do,
Yeah.
but I'm sure you think he'd be perfect for
Oh,
that
I think
role.
he'd be fantastic.
Yeah. Um, but I mean, like I said, you know more of the characters than I do, but I'd be pretty interested to see how he does in in that role as playing him. So
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting if that actually happens. And of course, Superman Legacy was already, I think, finished one of the script drafts before the writer's strike had
hmm
started. And of course, James Gunn wrote it and he's going to set to direct it, And once this actor strike ends, they're probably going to figure out a budget because right now it's being, geared to maybe a 2025 release date. That might change, but we don't know.
yeah, I mean, there was something out yesterday that um, when this I'm sorry, actor strike,
Yeah.
the writer strike actually did end uh, last week. So thank God on that. That's a step forward. Um, but um, when this actor strike actually ends, there was an article that some of the films that were actually filming may cause a little bit more problems than um, the rest of the films, such as Captain America 4, Mission Impossible, and Deadpool. Those movies are gonna probably see a little bit more. It's gonna be in a little bit more trouble once the actor strike ends, I guess. Uh,
Yeah, it's probably going to be trouble in various ways. I'm sorry to cut you off there.
no. Go. I was just saying.
Um, I'm pretty sure what happens is they got to, reschedule, what the shooting locations, rebook the sound stages, also make sure that the budget's still intact. And, and some of these properties are, close to $300 million budgets. So you got to make sure all the money's there or you can get some of the money back because the studio needs to, have some guarantees for their investments. So that's one thing. Another thing is, actors availability. You got to
Mhm.
make sure everyone is available because you got some of these actors that are, international stars and they're doing other productions, not set in the US. They're gonna be doing stuff in the UK and they're like, well, I'm not sure they're gonna be there. They're not gonna be available. So that's another factor.
Yeah. I mean, from what I've heard, I think Deadpool was almost finished by the time the actor strike started. Um, but yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, there's gonna be a lot more money. I don't know how much they're gonna ask for and stuff like that, but they've had at least 5 months, you know, due to the actor strike and everything. Well, actually, less than that because the actor strike kind of started a couple months
Yeah.
after the writer strike. After the writer strike, excuse me. Um, so about 3 months, give or take. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how they will go from here. Um, After the strike ends, pushing their release date and I don't know how they're gonna work it, but we'll see.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those wait and see situations, but we hope that the actor strike ends soon and everyone ends up happy with what they want. But it's too soon to tell.
Yeah, I mean they've been meeting on and off. They've been meeting for one day, taking a day off, and then doing it another day. So we'll see. Supposed to meet tomorrow again, so fingers crossed.
Mm,
But we'll see. My hope is that it ends by this week, but I doubt it.
I doubt myself.
So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. Okay. This is going to be the main topic for this evening. Last night, myself, Andrew, and Andrew Fell, our other friend, decided to see the latest installment of the Expendables franchise, Expendables 4. Yeah. um, well, we went in, we were just kind of curious to see why it happened, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I heard the reviews, I saw the reviews. I mean, because we both know our policy on like listening to reviews and everything like that because we want to see it for ourselves. Um, and I think we can both agree that the reviews were kind of spot on.
Yeah, and I wasn't even looking at the critics, I was actually looking at the fans' reactions. Yeah, the critics were right, and the fans were definitely right. We all three of us really wanted to like it. We really did, but it just didn't work. My feeling is that the franchise actually peaked after the second film. That's just my opinion on that. Three was okay, but if you want a better experience with Expendables 3, see the unrated version.
Yeah, I mean, I told you this. I told you this last night that after we saw the movie that um that was pretty much what did it in for them was that they changed their rating to PG-13 instead of R.
Yeah.
So if it was R, I think it would be way better than what it was.
Mhm.
I enjoyed it. I mean, it wasn't the best Expendables, but I enjoyed it. It was much better than this one. Um, and for all of you who haven't seen the movie yet, um, if you want to pause it or anything, because we'll probably talk about it right now. Um, we'll give you a minute to see if you want to log off or not.
Yeah. I'm not going to watch. Any second now. Okay, minutes up. Yeah.
All right. So going into this movie, I didn't have high expectations given the ratings and everything. Um, so when I saw it, like you said, I wanted to like it, but I don't have that much to say on it because it was so bad. Um,
The pacing was all over the place. There was no character development, none, especially with the new characters.
and
Uh,
and Stallone was hardly in the movie.
yeah, the plot. What was the plot?
Nuclear bomb.
Yeah, it did that with the second one, where was they were just taking nuclear plutonium.
Well, I think the main plot was trying to flush out um this guy that Barney was after 20 for 25 years.
Yeah, I got that part, but they didn't really expand it. It felt like they took out a lot in this movie. There was a lot of content that they took out in this because, like I said, the pacing was all over the place, and there was a couple of places where there were gaps, literally plot holes this size.
Yeah, I mean, you had Stallone coming back, like I said, wasn't really in the movie that much. Um, you had Statham, who was pretty much leading the whole entire movie. Um, and then you had Randy Couture back, and then you had Dolph Lundgren. I mean, those are all your old characters coming back. Um, and you had your new characters, which I will explain they didn't really need them in there, which was 50 Cent, which I really didn't see. need for that. I mean, I like 50 Cent, but not in that movie. Um, you had Megan Fox, who who played Jason Statham's girlfriend, who who isn't expendable, who is on the team. Um, I don't know. You don't after Transformers, I guess that was pretty much it for Megan Fox. Um,
I don't see her as an action star, folks. I really don't.
because when I first saw the trailer, I'm like, okay, she's playing his girlfriend, which is interesting, I guess. Um, I was kind of looking forward to see how they would develop that or how they got into that.
No
But
character development. None. None. None.
because when you saw the trailer, when you see a trailer, it doesn't give you the whole thing, but it gives you a pretty good idea of how the movie's gonna be. And when I first saw it, it was like I was kind of looking forward to it.
Yeah,
And then when I saw it, I wasn't.
I blame the writers. I blame the director because there was no chemistry with any of. Well, there was some chemistry with some of the new characters, but again, again, the plot. It comes down to the plot. And
Yeah,
Garcia, I don't know what the hell he was doing there. He felt totally out of place.
yeah. Um, I don't know. There's a lot we can say about this.
Yeah, but we're not going to take away from your movie experience, folks. This is just our opinion. If you want to see it, then you should go ahead and see it because that's your own opinion, right?
No, absolutely. I mean, we want you to enjoy our review, our show, but we also want you to experience it for yourself.
Yeah,
Like you don't. If we say the movie is bad, trust us, but also go see it for yourself. Also, if you want to just I mean, I don't know, just just go and see what you think about it.
yeah. Please know we did warn you. You and I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna ask you guys for a favor. If you actually did see the movie and you found anything you did like about it, please comment in the comments and tell us what you liked about it. You know, just try not to spoil it for the people who haven't experienced yet.
Yes. Personally, for me, what took it away mostly was the how can I word it? It's I guess the banter between Stallone and Statham that they've had in multiple movies. Um, they pretty much took that away when he was in the beginning of the movie, and then he wasn't.
Yeah, you really need that banter. Because they talk Smith like you and I talk.
Yeah. Um, so it's like you have that banter that they have between them throughout the whole throughout like all those three movies, in the whole movie instead of just 15 minutes into the movie and then that's it.
Yeah,
And for me, I mean that's mostly what I look forward to while seeing this movie is the chemistry and the banter between Stallone and Statham because it's really funny, it's really enjoyable to see, and I don't know, they kind of took that away from us a
yeah.
little bit.
So thank you, the writers for Expendable 4 did for doing that. I don't know if you guys took anything out or the studio took anything out. I don't know. But thank you for trying.
Yeah. They kind of said they wanted to leave him out for a unique plot twist. I don't know.
Wasn't unique.
Um,
It really wasn't.
I didn't really see a twist in there
No.
besides the ending, which was kind of predictable.
Yeah.
Because,
You don't want predictable endings.
because in the movie they kill him, but they don't. Um, he does come back in the end of the movie, so um, yeah, it was kind of predictable from start to finish with him.
Okay, so enough is said about that. Expendables 4 courses in the theaters. So if you did, guys, do decide to see it and find something, one thing that you liked about the film, please comment in our comments.
Yes, please, because we want to hear your opinions on it and see if you agree with us that it just didn't work at all.
Yeah,
One more thing I'll just add on it. I don't know whether they will do another sequel on it, whether whether it will be, you know, I don't know. I don't know if they will do another sequel. Um, Let us know if you think they should leave it right where it is, and just think, tell us if they should have ended it at 3, or just think they should just leave it entirely now. I mean,
that I don't think there should be another one. I don't think there should be another one because they can't. No, they can't dig themselves out of this. Whatever this is, no.
well, this kind of brings you back to Matrix Revolutions. Well, not Revolutions.
Was it Revelations?
Revelation. Was it Revelations?
It
Something
wasn't,
like that.
it wasn't Resurrections, was it?
I don't think there's. I don't
Uh,
think.
Anyway, it was an unnecessary sequel to a franchise that's already been, that stayed long after the party had ended.
Matrix Resurrection.
Resurrections, okay.
Resurrection. Yeah, because it was kind of like that. Um, I mean, not, you know, um, not in the way that it was intended, because they always intended to make the next one. But
Yeah,
you bring a movie back after, you know, a while,
mhm,
and when it's bad like that, you just kind of want to stop it.
yeah. Just to be clear, we didn't see Matrix Resurrections in the theaters.
Oh,
We kind of waited until we saw it on streaming on Max.
yeah,
Uh, I questioned so many decisions that were made in that movie, but that's another story. That's another topic, for another episode. Because
oh,
we could do a whole episode about the Matrix franchise if you guys want.
yeah. Well, I'm sure that we'll talk about that in later episodes if you guys want. Um, just tell us if you want that. We'll do that for you. But yeah, so I don't know what else to say about it. Just
Uh, you know what? The less is better. Less is better. Less is better.
so yeah, so Expendables is out now. If in the theaters now, if you want to go see it, feel free to do so. If not, you know,
May God have mercy on your souls. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Another little tidbit that we actually did hear about, and this was actually discussed. Director Michael Mann is actually thinking about revisiting one of his more celebrated films. Of course, I'm speaking of Heat, and he actually is thinking about working on a sequel, Heat 2. And not many people know this. He actually did co-write a novel, Heat 2, which is continuing, the story of what happened after the 1994 film. starring Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and Val Kilmer. Now, what are your thoughts on this, Smith?
Um, I mean, for me, I mean, I told you that if a movie is too good, don't make a sequel. I mean, I think this is probably one of the an example. Um, I didn't see all of the movie, but I saw enough of it for it to be pretty good, and I don't think they should make a sequel out of it, to be honest.
Well, technically, they already did with the novel, but I'm very curious
True.
about the novel, though.
True.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna pick up a copy and read that. But if that's gonna be turned to a movie, and if I find the book is good and they're gonna turn that into a movie, I would be curious to see how they would do that. That's one thing. But I do agree with your original statement that if one standalone movie is really good enough, you don't need a sequel. The case in point is, of course, 1974's Chinatown with Jack Nicholson and Faye Dunaway. They made a 1990 sequel called The Two Jakes, once again starring Nicholson, but this time he was also in the director's chair. It didn't quite work as well as the first, film had.
Right.
So that's why another example of, maybe, should just leave things alone. Yeah, you know the movie Seven?
Yeah,
Did you know that there was actually a proposed sequel to that?
I didn't actually.
Yeah,
First
it's
time hearing about it.
yeah, it's a film called the sequel is a film called Solace. It was actually reworked, obviously, because they didn't obviously get the same characters and the same
Mhm.
actors. So it was reworked as a film called Solace and had Anthony Hopkins. So I
Okay.
thought that was interesting. So if anyone actually does have ideas for a sequel for some of these standalone movies, I'm talking to the writers, um, and you can't get the original actors or the studio doesn't go for it, just rework and say, okay, this is not a direct sequel to this film; it's something else. Because I think it'll be better.
Yeah, I mean, you said you read the novel, right? I mean,
Well, I haven't read the Heat 2 yet. I have not read Heat
okay.
2 yet, but I'm actually considering getting a copy of it and read it.
Okay, then you'll probably see whether it should be turned into a movie or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, um, yeah, I mean, you have that saying, you know, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, you know, it you know comes with all these other movies. All these classic movies. Um, if the first movie was, you know, if the movie worked and it wasn't broken at all, don't make another sequel. If everyone loved it,
Yeah,
you know,
they had so many canceled films that were sequels to iconic movies. Like there was going to be a sequel to Forrest Gump.
oh God.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that would have worked out. They actually parodied this on an animated series that not many people would remember. It's called The Critic. So they did parody a Forrest Gump 2, Gump Harder, which is takeoff opposite on Die Hard 2, Die Harder.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
it was ridiculous. But that show is so far ahead of the curve because there were some films on there that they did parody, but eventually some of those films did come out. Like either a few years later or decades later, I'm like, oh god, this was way ahead of the curve. Oh man. But yeah, that's what's happened right now. But one last piece of news before we actually end our episode, and you could take this at face value, folks, because I'm a bit shocked about this. During his stand-up set, Jerry Seinfeld had actually told the audience that he and Larry David were actually talking to NBC about doing something with the controversial series finale of the hit sitcom Seinfeld. What that entails, I don't know. It could lead to a Seinfeld reunion. They're in talks right now. Obviously, back to the writer's strike and all that is over.
Hmm.
But um, I have to say I'm a bit shocked about that because A, that was a controversial series finale, and B, I kind of feel like they actually covered the idea of a Seinfeld reunion when the cast of Seinfeld actually came on Larry David's HBO sitcom Curb Your Enthusiasm. So
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know how it's gonna work.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we don't know if it's gonna be a reunion or. I thought like when I first saw the article, I thought they were gonna like remake like the ending or something. Like
That would have been
like
that would have been weird. They're 30 years older.
yeah. So I really don't know how that's gonna work. If they're actually gonna do a reunion show or not, I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, and Jerry can't be living in that same damn apartment. I mean, they all went to jail. I'm pretty sure the landlords of their apartments were like, okay, we're just gonna sublet their apartments.
Hmm. Exactly.
So I don't know how that's gonna work, but if it's coming from Jerry and Larry, maybe it's worth a watch.
Yeah. I'll probably watch. Well, depending on what it is, I'll probably see it.
Yeah.
Um, we'll see what happens with that. And just one more thing I want to touch on because I saw it and I thought of you. Um, the trailer for Frasier actually came out,
Ah,
which comes back November 20th, I think.
actually,
I
it comes out on October 12th.
October. Oh wow, I was way off.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. um,
by a whole month.
so it will be out soon, actually. So that's great.
Yeah.
Um, so what were your thoughts on the trailer and your thoughts on it coming back?
My thoughts on coming back have been, at first mixed because I'm like, well, do they really need to do more of this? Because the the ending of the original series, especially for the character, was very, comforting. It was very well done.
Hmm.
I'm like, this is a different new chapter in his life, and he's trying to, repair his relationship with his son, which I understand because it's obviously the exact opposite of how the original series started because he was trying to repair his relationship with his father. So,
Right.
okay, I can see the opposite of this, but what I saw from the trailer and the featurette was that he's a very passionate people that just love the character, love the world, love the situations that he puts himself in, and from what I'm told, that Kelsey Grammer has not missed a step of being Fraser Crane, and that just commends his ability as an actor. To play a part 40 years. You know, between Cheers and Frasier and this new version of Frasier.
Mhm.
And characters, seem interesting. Would love to see the father and son dynamic this time, especially where the son is a little bit more different than Frasier is. I would have to say Frasier's son takes more after Frasier's father, Martin Crane, from the original series.
Okay. Um, yeah, I mean, I never really tuned into it when it was on. Um, so I'm sure everyone just wanted to get. I just want to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah. So far, I've been hearing that couple of it's been mixed. The ratings,
Hmm.
the reviews. But I think some of the hardcore fans are going to look for specific things. Obviously, in the series, this could be one season. I don't know. I have to wait and see. But I'm just excited because I get to see what Frazier has been doing. For the past since we last saw him to Warriors now, because it's not easy, reinventing yourself for a third time or a second time if you think about it.
Yeah, that was actually gonna be my next question. What you touched on, if you thought that this could only go one season, or do you think it has a potential from what you saw to be turned into multiple seasons?
Well, at the very least, I would like to see at least maybe 2 seasons out of this. I would say maybe three,
Hmm.
but but this is me being hopeful. But what was interesting is you have some of the original creators from Frasier and Cheers working on this as well. So that goes to show you, okay, you got some of the old guard coming in to really show these new kids how to do it. And what's also great is you have new voices, to add their take on Frasier because they're also fans of the show. A lot of these people are the reason they got into this business because of that sitcom. So I'm very excited, and of course I'm going to hold my judgment until I see the whole season, or at the very least the first 5 episodes. But from what I saw from the featurette, I'm liking what I'm seeing because the audience seems to be, liking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and many people don't forget this. This is done with a live audience.
No. Yeah. True. That's right. Um, no, but yeah, I take on what you said that just want to add like we've experienced this before that some of these reboot series don't have the you know the potential it once did for you know
Yeah,
in the old show.
yeah,
Bring the show back and then it's not as good as the original. I mean,
yeah. I think the perfect example for that would be Murphy Brown. As you,
mhm,
they did try that. That was a show that was on the '80s and the '90s. They did try to bring it back in 2016 for one season. It didn't quite work because variety of reasons. Um, because the audience sometimes doesn't like seeing their favorite characters 30 years older. That's one thing. Another
yeah,
thing, the topics of the time, they were kind of hard to find funny things about it, even though some of them was like, okay, so some of this is pretty funny, but a lot of it didn't work. So that kind of failed. I don't think it had a complete season, if I'm being honest.
yeah. Um, I mean, yeah. I mean, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I mean, that's really what you have to bank on when you bring these series back. Um, most recently was Fuller House, um, which they did for 5 years. Um,
Yeah, that I think worked. That experiment worked.
yeah, I mean, because you had so many people who was so much fan of the show, and then they brought everybody back, the whole entire cast, and then obviously with the new kids in there and everything. But
Yeah.
um, perfect example of it works, and then another show that you bring back doesn't work. I mean, that's just something you have to take a risk on.
Well, that's the thing with especially with these television reboots, they're very risk, but they have a strong fan base, which Frasier does have,
Yeah,
and sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's worth the risk and say, let's see where we go with this.
yeah. I mean, look for the Frasier fans out there and everything. I do hope that this series turns out to be successful.
Yeah.
This is one of the shows that was a big hit back then, and bringing it back now. Um, I'm just hoping it becomes a big hit, and it could turn into multiple seasons, hopefully. But
Well, knock on wood on that.
hey, yeah. But yeah, so hopefully it turns out to be a well well reviewed show and everything. So
Okay. Well, I think that's going to be it for us tonight.
yes, just we will be at New York Comic Con this weekend. Um, so we will talk to you about that. Um, We will see whether or not we'll talk about it, whether we want to go live during the convention. We'll see.
Maybe problematic, but we'll see.
It may be problematic, but we will see. Nothing set in stone yet, so we will talk about it and then give you an update on that as well. So we'll be there Thursday through Sunday. So
So on that note, I'm Ian Miller.
I'm Andrew Smith.
And this has been Media Talk with Noah Smith. Have a good night, folks.
Hey, guys.
If you'd like to follow us on YouTube, just hit that like button and subscribe.